When I was pregnant with my third kid, I had countless people tell me that the transition between 2 to 3 kids is the hardest transition out of all of the transitions. And quite honestly, that kind of scared me. And so the whole time I was pregnant, I was wondering how it was going to change our lives to add a third kid in. And mind you, we had all of our kids pretty close in age. They're all around 2 years apart. So it was a pretty quick transition between the second to the third. And the more people that told me this, the more scared I got, because I had so many people tell me that 3 kids was even harder than 4 or 5 or 6, and that 3 was the hardest number out of all of the numbers. And pretty much everyone told me that 3 kids was going to wreck my routine completely, and we were just going to be living in a state of constant chaos all day, every day, and I would never be able to get things under control, and I would just be completely overwhelmed. Which, like, side note, why are we telling moms this? Like, I'm already pregnant with a third child, and why are you telling me this? Are you trying to scare me? I don't know. I'm sure everybody just had good intentions and was trying to help me feel prepared and feel ready for what was about to happen. But really all it did was make me wonder for 9 months how my life was going to look different once the third baby arrived. And obviously the third baby was so wanted. We tried for him, we wanted him, and we were excited for him to be born. But I had a lot of anticipation and worry about what that transition between 2 to 3 was going to look like. And then finally, 9 months later, our perfect third baby boy was born. And he's the third of 3 boys. We've got all boys and their ages are 4, 2, and now we have a baby that is 4 months old. So I've been in this for 4 months now. The baby was born, we got home from the hospital, all the kids were together, and nothing happened. Nothing happened. There was no chaos, there was no earth-shattering craziness. It was not at all what people had painted the picture to be. Our routine stayed the same, but there was just a new little baby to love. And obviously, yes, it got more busy. We have laundry for 1 more person. We have 1 more mouth that we're feeding. We have 1 more bedtime routine. We've got 1 more of everything. But it wasn't what people had painted it out to be. And it wasn't as scary as everyone made it out to be. So let's lay it out there. I've now gone from 0 to 1 kids, 1 to 2 kids, and 2 to 3 kids. And I was fully expecting that 2 to 3 was going to be my earth-shattering break. But it wasn't. The hill I will die on, and by far my hardest transition, was 0 to 1 kids. Prior to having our first kid, I went to nursing school, I had interned in the NICU, I had interned on postpartum, and I felt like I kind of had an idea of what taking care of a baby was all about. But let me tell you, absolutely nothing can prepare you for what it is like to be a parent of your own child. Taking care of a baby or helping with somebody's baby is a completely different ball game than having one of your own. Now, if you're watching this and you're pregnant with your first, do not be scared. Having my first was still wonderful and magical and amazing, but it just wasn't what I had thought it would be, because there's a learning curve. Nobody can prepare you for what it's like to be a parent of your own child. It took me time to figure out exactly what I was doing, to learn his cries and know what it was that he needed and what he needed from me. And I look back at things I did as a first-time parent now with my third, and I laugh at the things that I did that I thought were so good. I remember when we had first brought home my first baby from the hospital, when he would wake up to feed in the night, I would turn the lights on and I would read him stories and I would sing him songs, and I thought I was being such a wonderful, sweet mother, but really I was disrupting his sleep. Those are things that you learn with time. I've now done the lactation consultant 2 times, and I know what it's like to nurse a baby, and I know how to fix latches and to troubleshoot things, and I don't panic if things don't feel exactly right. I know exactly what I'm doing now. When you're starting out with your first kid, you have nothing to base it off of. You've never had a kid before. You don't know what comes next after this stage. You don't know how long it could last for teething. You don't know what to do when they come up with this rash or they have this stuffy nose. You don't know because you haven't been there before. You can talk to your mom friends, but nothing can replace the experience of having one for yourself. So now if my baby is fussy or he gets a rash or something like that, I've been there before. I know what that is. I know what to do. And the anxiety and the panic's just a little bit less. And not to mention the way that your entire identity and life shifts when you add another child into your family. When you go from being just 2 adults living an adult life, your house isn't that messy. You can both clean up after yourselves. You're not focusing on a schedule. You can stay out as late as you want. You just have to focus on your jobs and on each other, and adults can take care of themselves. So it's a huge shift to add somebody in that is completely dependent on you as a person. And I personally think it takes time to adjust and to figure out what that looks like for you and in your life, because it looks different for every mom. Trying to figure out where the baby fits in your life and still making sure that you keep yourself as a priority and you make sure that your needs are being met and your own cup is being filled, while also making sure that you give your child the childhood that you imagine for them. And I chose to have kids pretty young, so I still have some friends that don't have kids. So it's definitely been a learning curve for them, trying to figure out how me and having 3 kids fits into a social life, because I can't just drop everything and go for a vacation last minute, and I can't stay out till all hours of the night playing games or doing things like that, because I have little humans that depend on me. And obviously this is the life I chose, this is what I wanted for myself, but there is an adjustment of what your life looked like before as only an adult and only yourself versus you plus other people to take care of. And when you have your first, you're doing everything for the first time. So like taking a baby to the grocery store, that's the first time you've done that. You have to figure out what works for you and how you're going to manage that and not get overwhelmed. And honestly, the first few times might be overwhelming, but when I've done it with 3 kids, it wasn't as overwhelming. I've been there, I've done that, I know how to troubleshoot that. And honestly, people can tell you that phase ends, don't worry, you won't be sleep deprived forever. You can believe them all you want, but it's easier to believe it when you've been there yourself. I have 2 older kids. I've seen them get through the sleep regressions, and I've gotten full night's rest after having a newborn. I know it ends. I've been there. But being there versus having someone tell you that, it's just 2 different things. And if you're parenting with a support person, like a spouse or a loved one, then you have to figure out how your lives revolve around working together as a team in that way. You've never worked together as a team to take care of a baby before. So that's a whole new thing, and you have to learn how each other works and how you can support each other in this role. And on top of it all, first-time moms are experiencing things they have never experienced before. The hormone shifts postpartum, trying to figure out what my postpartum body looks like and how to dress it. You have to buy new clothes for postpartum versus when you lose all the postpartum weight versus pregnancy, and it's a whole roller coaster of things that you don't know what to expect because every body responds differently. Now I'm a 3rd-time mom. I'm 4 months postpartum and I'm 30 pounds over my normal weight still so far, but I'm used to that. I expected that, and it's not as big of a shock and a disappointment for me because this is what I know to be normal for my body, and I expect it, and I know it's just part of the journey. For some reason with my first kid, someone made me believe that I was gonna be able to fit into my regular clothes like right after I had the baby, which was not true for me. I remember crying when I was taking my baby to the pediatrician like a week in because I tried to put on some of my regular pants and they like wouldn't even go up past my thighs, and I was like, what is going on? It was so confusing to me. And now those pants, as a 3rd-time mom, back corner of the closet, they are not going to try to go on my body for at least another 2 months. I'm not worried about it because I know one day I'll get back there, and I can never get back this time with my newborn baby. So my body is just really not something I'm focused on. I'm focusing on being healthy, but I don't care about what I look like. And then 1 to 2 kids came along, and we had them a little less than 2 years apart, but it was like totally normal for us. We brought the second baby home and we each took a baby, right? My husband had the older baby, I had our new baby because I was nursing, and we each took a kid. We had set roles. Now, obviously we worked together and we split roles for each kid, but it was easier because it was 1-to-1. We each had something we were doing at all times versus having a first baby. It was like, who should change the diaper? Who should take the turn? We want to be equal partners in this, but we also want to give each other a break, but we don't know where to start. And then we had a second kid, and it was like, oh, perfect. You take that kid, I'll take this kid. We each got a role, we're helping out. People told me this is where it was gonna get crazy with 3 kids. It was no longer man to man. You were in a zone. You were outnumbered. There's more kids than there are adults. And so I was like, well, what are we gonna do? This is gonna be crazy. But we're experienced parents now, so we know exactly what needs to be done. We know what our kids need. And obviously as the mom of a newborn baby and I'm nursing, I mainly take the newborn. And I help with the other kids also, and my husband takes the baby when he doesn't need to be fed. But we kind of just see the needs and we hop on it. And when my husband's at work, I'm not as scared of being a mom to 3 kids by myself now because I've been there and I'm experienced and I know what I'm doing and I know who to turn to have help. Going from 0 to 1, I almost felt silly asking outside people for help because I was like, it's just me and 1 baby. Like, why should I need help? Which, if you're a first-time parent, don't be afraid to ask for help. It's not silly to need help. Everybody needs help with kids. That's why they say it takes a village to raise kids, because it does. You were never meant to be doing it by yourself. But for me, I just felt silly being like, well, I shouldn't need help. It's just me and the baby. With the second kid, I knew what to be excited about. I knew all the milestones that my first kid hit and about the time frame that they hit those milestones. And I knew to be so excited to watch him roll over for the first time, to hear his laugh for the first time, to watch him enjoy a solid food for the first time. I knew when all of those things were approximately coming, and all of those sweet milestone moments totally outweighed all of the hard sleepless nights or other small things that seemed to be such a big deal as a first-time parent. And as a third-time parent, I can safely say that the third kid has taught me to learn to let go. So things that used to seem like a big deal to me then do not seem like a big deal to me at all now. Stains on a shirt from a snack, they come out. And if they don't, it's not the end of the world, it's just a shirt. My house not clean all the time, to be expected. I've got kids making memories, so when people come over, they know I've got 3 little boys. They should expect that things are not gonna always be in their right place. Sleep schedules and bedtime, we have them. Do we always stick to them? No. If there's a fun park day or something to go along the way, baby can take a contact nap, other kids can sleep in the car, things work out. Your kid is exactly what I needed to learn that childhood is flexible and it doesn't have to always be a set routine, and we just need to let kids be kids. And sometimes that doesn't look like a set routine, and everybody is fine and it will work out just fine. Things like dirty fingerprints on a window used to seem like a big deal to me, but now I absolutely love them and I let them linger for a few days because their hands are only gonna be that tiny for so long. So the dirty fingerprints on the window are just such a sweet reminder to me of this phase of life that we're in. And in a lot of ways, my living room looks a lot more like a playroom now than it ever did. And I used to think, let's not have toys out where other people are gonna come see. But I know one day I'm gonna miss those toys, so bring it on. Let's play in the living room. And if guests are gonna come over, again, they know I've got little kids and we're just making memories. I think the hardest part of a third kid for me wasn't the third kid at all, but was helping my other two kids transition and making sure that they still felt loved and that they were getting enough time and attention from me. I get out of the house way more often having more kids than I ever did with one kid. I have older kids now, so we have a reason to be getting out with my 3 or 4 month old. We have a reason to go to the park. We have a reason to go to the zoo. So I'm getting out way more, which is so much better for my mental health than just staying home all day. Plus with 3 kids, I have all the things that I know that I need. And so I know at any given moment, if I need a certain thing, I've got it somewhere around here. I just have to go find it. And I care so much less about things the older I get. So spit up on my shirt, no worries. That's why we've got a washer and dryer. We'll just throw it in the wash. Things don't matter to me as much as the getting baby snuggles while they're little does. I guess the more kids I have, the more I realize how fast this season comes and goes and how much I just wish that people as first-time parents could understand that and just cherish every single moment instead of focusing so much on the little details because they come as you learn. So if you're about to have a third kid, don't be scared. It's not what everybody says it's gonna be. Everybody tried to scare me so bad when I was pregnant, and so far, 4 months in, we're thriving. Things have not been as crazy as people said they were gonna be. Are things perfect? Absolutely not. But parenthood in general is not perfect, so that's to be expected. I mean, to put it in perspective, when I told my husband we were pregnant with our third, aside from excitement, the only thing he was worried about was trying to figure out how we were gonna buy a new car to fit all the car seats. I guess the best way I can think to describe it is that when you're going 0 to 1, you become mom, but when you're going 2 to 3, you're becoming a mom of 3. You've already become mom before, you're just adding more kids. It's not a whole new role you're taking on, it's just a promotion. And whether you're going 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, whatever it is, it's the best promotion you'll ever get. And like with a promotion at any job, it comes with a learning curve. There's gonna be time where you have to learn the ins and outs of the job till you can excel at it. But don't let that scare you. Don't let anybody tell you that things are gonna be scary or that things are gonna be hard. Just listen to the positive stuff because at the end of the day, everyone's experience is different anyway. My neighbor up the street could tell me that 2 to 3 kids was the hardest for her, but that doesn't make it true for me. Maybe there's some of you out there that think 0 to 1 was a walk in the park because you knew what you were doing. I just didn't know what I was doing. I think I was partially a little bit overconfident thanks to nursing school. Being a nurse to a baby is different than being a mom to a baby. And really there's hard with every phase of life. When it was 0 to 1, I was thinking, am I doing enough for this baby? But now that I have 3 kids, I think, am I giving enough of myself to each of my kids equally? So there's hard parts of every transition, but you just have to figure it out along the way. Even posting this video, I've become so much more self-confident and self-assured having 3 kids because they're all looking to me to figure out how that works. At 0 to 1, probably wouldn't have had the confidence I needed, but me at 3 kids, I definitely feel confident and self-assured enough to be able to share myself and my experiences online. And if you're watching this and you're about to talk to a new mom or a mom that's about to have a baby, let's just focus on the positives. Let's stop saying, you just wait till they don't sleep through the night and start saying, you just wait till they smile at you for the first time. Let's focus on all the good of motherhood and stop trying to scare new moms because motherhood is the best thing that I have ever done and I would not trade it for anything. You can hear the cute little baby sounds in the background and that is my whole world. Don't be scared of becoming a mom to 3. You just wait till you become a mom of 3 and see how wonderful that will be.